Blue. Make sure you like and subscribe and go follow me on my Twitch and my other YouTube channel. Those links are down below. Also my Patreon, where I have more content on there that I don't post here. It's like you're purposely trying to see where the line is.
Very good. You know something? No soup for you! Come back 1 year!
Today I'm going to be watching the first episode of House of Dragon Season 2. It feels like it's been years since I've heard this intro.
Beauty is sacrifice. It eclipses all things. Since the days of the first men, we have stood as guardians against the cold and the dark. But my ancestor, Torrin Stark, began a tradition. 1 in 10 men from our household was to be chosen to fortify the Watch. The North must stand ready.
It pleases me to think that over a century ago our ancestors treated in this very place. The Conqueror and the King in the North.
You at least had the mercy not to threaten me with your dragon.
The realm will soon tear itself apart. If my mother is to defend her claim to hold the realm united, she needs an army. Wage it without the support of the North.
My father brought King Jaehaerys and Queen Alysanne to see the wall, watched as their dragons, the greatest power in the world, refused to cross it. I have thousands of greybeards. They are well honed.
If your greybeards can fight, the Queen will have them.
They will fight hard.
Urgent news from Dragonstone.
Ooh. Oh no. He's about to find out about his brother. So, the other son that made it was there talking to the Starks. The dialogue between the Starks and Rhaenyra's eldest seemed really civil. It had a lot of the Game of Thrones vibe that you remember in the Starks, and clearly the show takes place way before that show takes place, so it's nice just to see, oh yeah, they really do have a lot of the same dialogue. Like, we remember our oaths and promises. They're very just and very honorable. Also very interesting to hear them speak about the wall and even how the dragons wouldn't cross it.
Take your mount again. We're flying out. We're going to King's Landing.
To what end?
With my dragon and yours together, we can kill Vhagar and her rider. Make it a son for a son.
Was this the Queen's command?
The Queen remains absent. She has been gone for days. Too long. She is exposed.
She is grieving.
The mother grieves as the Queen shirks her duties.
It was only when I saw my daughter's mortal remains that I could begin to mourn her.
If you'd have acted when you had the chance, Aegon's line would be extinguished, and Luke would be alive.
Oh well.
Fly with me. It is a command.
Would that you were the king.
Spicy. I'm family, I bet. Yikes, really just kind of said, well, if you took care of it when you had the chance with your dragon and breathing right before you ditched and came here, you could have just wiped all of them out, and then he would have been alive. Which, yes, is true, but kind of a lot to put on her, especially since it wasn't really her responsibility being in that circumstance anyways.
Seven more ships put out to sea this morning to fortify the blockade.
I must have my ship back at sea to lead the effort.
It'll be many weeks yet. And wager, the smithy delivered this earlier.
I had this commissioned for Prince Lucerys.
I was very sorry to hear about your heir's death. It was the blackest of treacheries.
They tell me that you're the one that dragged my body out of the sea.
It was only my duty.
I am indebted to you, Alan.
Lots of vibrant greens.
Keep your focus, men! Dragon! Arm the scorpion!
Yes, that's the thing that can take them out.
Stand down, it's Vhagar! Stand down!
Where is Jaehaerys?
Wow, I do not remember all of the children.
What do you need of him?
Taken into the small council.
He'll be king one day. He must begin his instruction.
The library. I'm afraid.
Don't be. They'd be fools to come with Vhagar protecting the city.
Not the dragons. The rats.
I don't remember if they showed small signs of her having a thing, like a mental... I don't want to say handicap, but I'm having a hard time thinking of the word that would be appropriate to use. If there's something just off about her. She sees things? He himself, for some reason, reminds me of Joffrey, kind of Joffrey vibes, for some reason. Maybe it's just that he seems like he would be in situations where someone would try to tell him something and he would be very difficult to control.
We are expected at the small council, Your Grace.
We cannot. Again.
Clearly ran into the same thing with Rhaenyra. And they made it a huge deal and just accepted the exact same thing.
Good morrow, my lords.
My nephew, Lord Aemond, musters his forces to sally forth from Old Towns.
My letters to Rhaenyra. Has there been any answer?
None, Your Grace. Between that and their blockade of the gullet, we must presume that the princess has refused the offered terms.
At once. Would someone please...
Is the heir to the throne bothering you, Tyler? I think he wants a ride.
Your Grace.
A ride?
A pony ride.
Okay, yeah. That's...
Your Grace.
Off you go, Jaehaerys.
Goodbye.
Rhaenyra's blockade has placed King's Landing under strain.
If we are to break the Sea Snake's blockade, we will need to bolster both the Lannister and Hightower navies.
Aemond, what is your business here?
The king summoned me.
Aemond is my closest blood and our best sword. I welcome him. The River Lords will either declare for me, or they will meet Vhagar and Sunfire together.
Rhaenyra has dragons as well.
Mine are bigger.
You've already demonstrated your might, Your Grace. We must now favor patience and restraint.
Good morrow, Lord Larys.
I had come earlier to have a word, but your handmaiden said that you were indisposed. I have completed questioning the whole of the castle staff. I am satisfied I have exposed all who betrayed our trust. They no longer breathe our air. I've chosen your new staff personally.
Give me that.
Your Grace?
Just leave me.
It's kind of sad. Alicent seems to have turned into a miserable person. I'm remembering that she used to peck at her fingers really bad in season 1 whenever she was young, and I suppose it's from anxiety, just anxiousness, being put in situations that she didn't want to be in.
Let's have the first petition, my good Lord Hand. And how might your king be of service?
'Tis my flock. A tenth of them taken by the crown.
Should return them. I shall make your flock of sheep whole.
We already made a promise to all the crown.
Perhaps we could just return his sheep. He came all this way.
If you return one herd of sheep, Your Grace, you'll soon find them all at the foot of your throne expecting the same.
Just say
After
it
further thought, I have decided that I cannot restore your sheep.
The Smiths are all proud to support your grace against Rhaenyra.
If we could but have the crown's coin before we started work, it would bring great...
You shall be paid. Our victory depends on the efforts of the small folk.
You have my most sincere gratitude, Your Grace.
Even if it's because he's ignorant and he's promising things that he shouldn't and or cannot provide as a king, it's definitely a lighter, softer-hearted side of some kings that have been... The Joffrey comparison might have been a little too much. Although he wanted to embarrass somebody in the room for interrupting or picking on someone related to him. He has a very different tone with people who are asking for things. He doesn't ridicule them or make them feel like they just owe his king. It seems like he really sees the benefit of making them happy and making them know that if they have the supplies, they will be grateful and then give back. Whereas Otto's advice seems to be, no, you have to take from them. This is what they owe. This is what being in power is. And if you give too much to them, then we won't have anything to fight the war with.
Touch with the small folk, just as your father did.
Thank you, my lord.
I wonder, do you have a moment for a quiet word? Is the hand's want to keep a firm grip on things? You controlled your father the same way.
Oh.
I would think, as we find ourselves standing within a hair's breadth of war, that you would wish to be viewed differently.
Very interesting, because this is going to be the start of how inside one side of the story, the High Towers, and this side Targaryens, how there's going to be inner workings between them now, and dynamics, and political things.
I find myself wondering...
Uh-oh.
Do we pursue the same end? I should tell you mine. Rhaenyra bending the knee, and Aegon sitting the Iron Throne in peace.
Then we are aligned.
Then be my ally.
I am.
An ally would not repeatedly cut my legs from beneath me at that table of men. If you undermine my voice, both those boys will grow deaf to it.
I hadn't seen it that way.
We only need to mind Aegon until the novelty of rule is spent. Once he tires of it, you and I can steer our course to victory.
But you must accept that the path to victory now is one of violence.
I know it.
Interesting.
Prepare to be boarded! By the order of Lord Hollis Valarian! Search the hold for stowaways!
Oh no.
You. The White Worm.
Did you think I would wither in your absence?
How long have you been selling secrets to Otto Hightower?
As long as he had gold to pay for them.
You put Aegon on the throne.
My arrangement with the Hand was purely transactional. I held no loyalty to him. Certainly do not now.
What else do you know of him, his plans?
I possess nothing of value to you, Daemon.
Have her moved to the cells. She is to be treated as a traitor to the crown.
The lady speaks the truth. She was no agent of the Hightowers.
Was it honor that made you stand by and watch as the Hightowers usurped the throne? Aegon was in your grasp. You should have killed him yourself.
I reckon our names of the King's Guard are just 8 and 10. But what were we to do when they turn against one another?
She's still carrying it.
I want Aemond Targaryen.
Probably the most intense scene so far, I think, in the show. I got chills at least when she walked in. I think the music and the intensity of the red, the scenery, was very opposite to the green and the vibes of showing their side, almost as if they feel secure and relaxed. They do feel defensive. They have all of their things trying to line up, but on this side it just feels rage and wrath. It's dark with fire all over around the table, which is a very different vibe than how well lit it was at the High Towers. I like the similarities between Rhaenys and Rhaenyra, because Rhaenys explaining it to Daemon in a very womanly way to defend Rhaenyra for her actions as queen, but also Daemon kind of looking at it from a perspective of ruling is completely fair and justified as well. I liked his response earlier at the beginning of the episode where he said when a mother grieves, a queen is absent. Like, she has duties that are very important, and while she's grieving as a mother, she's abandoning her duties as a queen.
In your years as merchant of gossip, you surely accumulated spies within the Red Keep.
Scheme with someone else, Daemon. I was once in your thrall, but no longer.
Your knowledge in exchange for your freedom.
Your Grace, Lady Jane Arryn has pledged her support in exchange for a dragon to guard the Vale. Lord Cragen Stark has promised 2,000 men.
Valerie Florent. Viserys Targaryen. Viserys Florent.
A tribute.
Commander.
I'm told you bear a mislike for the High Towers.
Fuck the High Towers.
The White Worm said you're one of Aegon's rat catchers.
I heard the White Worm was dead.
Her ghost told me you're a betting man. How deep your debts? I was also given to understand that you possess a unique knowledge of the Red Keep.
My ghost tunnels. I know them better than the shape of my own cock.
You're to find and slay the Prince Aemond Targaryen. He has silver hair and one eye. Should be easy enough to find.
I thought it was
One
bring
half.
him back.
We'll get the other when it's done.
Oh.
You should be leading the van. And I should be flying cover on Vhagar. Banner against us. My brother is hostage to my grandsire and mother. And they tell him that a war of dragons can yet be avoided.
'Tis inevitable. They must see that.
She blames me for starting this war, after she plotted with my father's council to usurp his throne.
She has a gentle heart, and Rhaenyra is a cunning spider. Long ago, she drew Alicent into her web.
She holds love for our enemy. That makes her a fool.
Return to your post, Lord Commander. I must have a word with the Prince. You've a zeal to act, I understand. I was young once myself.
I only wish to serve my king and my house.
Now what does that mean?
You and Vhagar were the greatest single power in the realm. If it wasn't obvious before, it certainly is now. I promise you, Aemond, you will have all the vengeance that you seek, but you must keep a grip on your impulses. We both know that your brother cannot.
Very interesting how that man speaks about Alicent and Rhaenyra. How Rhaenyra pulled Alicent into her web. He seems very hurt by Rhaenyra. Not saying it's not justified. Genuinely trying to see his side. Rhaenyra used him and then just kind of dumped him and moved on, I suppose. And that must be very hard for a man who is very prideful for many reasons, Kingsguard, to be tossed aside by a woman. Aemond's really interesting because he has a lot of Daemon qualities. He even looks like him, if that's not enough. And also has the most threatening dragon in the entire realm. Definitely seems like people would, if anything, want to especially manipulate him and make sure that he's not scheming behind people's backs. But maybe he is a little bit too smart and cunning to kind of just play the long game, wants to play his own. Whereas Otto's maybe seeing the risk in that, hey, if we don't calm him down, he has the most powerful dragon. Don't switch sides. Don't make any funny movements. You need to just be patient. You need to get a grip. Of course, he would want to tell him that.
Bring the dog.
It's a king.
My mother and grandsire mind me like some helpless duckling. Mother at least knows his place. He's as loyal as a hound.
Keep your eyes
I
down.
need a style that demonstrates...
How do we get upstairs?
The royals live up there.
Right.
I got you in the castle. I thought the rest was your bit.
On my way upstairs. Show me.
This is not going to work out. He's now just going to try to... He's going to...
The royals live on this level. No one's here.
We need to keep looking. No head. No gold. Set a trap.
Huh?
For appearances. For the rats.
Gonna kill her.
She's the queen, she is.
A son for a son, he said.
Over there.
It's gonna be the little one. At the maybe just kidnap. Like, don't kill.
They both look the same.
Oh, they're so
Which one's the
little.
boy?
I have a necklace. It's of great value.
No, son.
She's telling true.
What? Is she seeing?
Helena! What's happened?
They killed the boy.
Kidnapping would have just been so much better. We can give him back. If you say that you're not the heir to the throne, or give us back our throne, are you really going to pick the throne over your child? Do you choose peace over... I mean, everyone in the realm will see you not pick your child who's been kidnapped over the throne that you shouldn't have anyways because you're Hightower, so it'd just be really weird. But no, they... all of the noises and the sounds of them cutting his head off. Now it makes sense that they showed a little bit of him in the room playing, because it showed that he really does have an attachment to his son. He's trying to be a just king. Oh, we'll give you back your sheep. Aegon, clearly showing a lot of his issues, not really taking ruling seriously, getting drunk, but is trying to be just. We'll give you back your sheep, we'll give you more money or pay you up front for making iron, weapons for our army. But was ready to just flip on someone and embarrass them, make them a clown, to give his son a piggyback ride in a meeting. Daemon immediately takes action for what Rhaenyra wants. Immediately. Didn't fully work out, but does it? Daemon was trying to defend Rhaenyra and said, well, let's kill the one who killed your son and get the one that you're asking for, which is Aemond. But then whenever he's reiterating this job to these people, he tells this one guy with the rat stuff, and it's like playing telephone, where the message just slowly starts not being the message that it was at first. And it's not Daemon's fault, but it's similar to the whole situation of it wasn't fully Aemon's fault either. He didn't tell his dragon to do that. Just like Daemon didn't cut the little boy's head off, I think he would have had more respect than that. Again, I really just... it's so unfortunate that they didn't just kidnap him. Maybe they saw it as harder. We couldn't get out of these gates with carrying the little boy. The second we run away with him, she's just going to go tell somebody. We wouldn't make it past that. Killing him would get the job done immediately. But it's a little boy. You're talking about Aemond, the guy who actually rides the most dangerous dragon in the realm, who actually technically killed Luke, to a little innocent child in bed. You're gonna make the entire other side hate you now. Anyways, I hope that you guys still enjoyed this reaction. And like and subscribe. Go check out all my links, including my Twitch, my other YouTube channel, and my Patreon. And I'll see you all next time. Bye.